Sometimes you might need a pick-me-up, a push in the right direction, some words that help put you back on track. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast with your motivational moment.
Good morning! This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast and your motivational moment for this week. I'm your host, director, and CEO of the show, Chris Jaggs. How are you doing today? What's new? How is your week going so far? For your motivational moment this week, we have Craig Ballantyne, possibly the world's most disciplined man. Now, in this clip, Craig highlights the statement, structure gives you freedom, and how adding structure into your life will help you feel stress-free and give you more freedom for the rest of your life. I mean, how can that not be a good thing? Here's Craig.
Now, another thing that I found, a lot of people, you guys like your flex time and you guys want freedom, and that's fantastic, but it's kind of paradoxical. But from the more structure that you do have in your life, the more freedom that you'll be able to have. So when you think about this, I want you to think of it in terms of having a lot of structure in your work environment allows you to get more done so that you don't have to spend extra hours here. You get all your work done in the allotted time, so that you then have more freedom for the rest of your life. So that is something that's, not a message that's really conveyed, particularly to your generation. It's more about, the flex time and stuff like that. But you really do need to take your productivity and your structure very seriously because it will give you more freedom in your life. Now, all the lessons that I have learned have come from these people. These are all people who have gone through my system, done their before and after transformations. You've seen these all over the place from many, many people's businesses. But all the lessons I've learned pretty much from business and from what I'm about to share with you with the building your own code comes from these people. Because what they're doing when they're going from here to here is they're taking on a new set of personal philosophies. They are the people who will then go to a social event and be able to say no to, the peer pressure of being, whether it's another drink or whether it's another hamburger, because they've now switched their mindset from, maybe I'll have one, or maybe, I'm the type of person who might have one, to right now, I'm not, having this type of food because this is what I'm trying to do, because they have a very specific vision and they're going to take action incongruent with that vision. So what I want you guys to think about doing is creating your own code. Now I'm going to share with you mine, and when I share my code with you, what I'm going to share with you is going to maybe not resonate with you at all because it's specific to me. It's specific to helping me have a more stress-free life and to get more done in the way that I work best. So you might be completely different. You guys are going to be, I know you guys are going to be completely different because you're all going to probably have absolutely no interest in some of the time management strategies that I use specifically for myself because I like to get up early. I'm sure not very many of you guys like to do that. So don't think in terms of exactly what I say, but in the framework of thinking, well, how can I then, maybe put together a few rules that are going to guide my life and make all the important decisions that much easier to make so that I can then have less stress in decision making. What I'm trying to get you guys to understand is that you go back and forth because you don't have a hard set rule and like, should I go out tonight and stay out really late, because my friends invited me, even though I know I have to do something tomorrow morning. Now, if you have a personal rule that you don't show up late to important things, you don't show up hungover to important things, and you have an important thing tomorrow, and somebody asks you to go out and you know that this person is always going to get you drunk, then you know that you will say no to that person, to that situation, without stress because you have a rule that you do not violate for other important aspects. So my rules are written at this website, earlyrise.com. /12-rules, but I am going to go through them briefly. They're actually much longer, but I'm going to go through them in brief here. So my very first rule is I go to bed and I wake up at the same time 7 days a week. Now, like I said, you guys don't have to have a rule about sleep at all. This is a rule that applies to me. And when you get to be an older guy like myself and Matt, if I can give you one tip, this is kind of a little bit of a side note here, but going to bed and getting up at the same time every day, which is something I resisted for so long, it makes the biggest difference in your all-day energy levels. So, when you're, like I said, when you're a little older and you're running out of your natural energy that you guys all have in abundance, and you have 2 or 3 weeks where you're not doing any crazy trips or any crazy adventures, try going to bed and getting up at the same time every day, and you will notice a difference. So, back to me, I do this because of the next thing, which is I wake up, the very first thing I do when I wake up is I write for 60 minutes. Now, there's a principle in my life that I think everybody here shares, and it's called magic time. Now, everybody here has their own magic time. It's where you literally get 3 times the amount of work done in the same amount of time as you would at any other point in the day. So for me, when I write for 60 minutes, first thing in the morning, very early in the morning, I get as much work done as I would between 1 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it doesn't matter what you do, if you're in the web design or if you're in the Facebook ad monitoring or if you're creating copy, every single person here has a time of day when they are more productive when they're 3 times as productive at any other time of the day. So if you're having a bit of a time management thing right now, what I want you to do is a very simple thing. I want you to get a notebook or just a piece of paper, and for 3 or 4 days, you're going to write down, when you come to work, the time, and you're going to write down on every line on that paper, you're going to have 15-minute blocks. So if you get to work at 10 o'clock, it'll be 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30, all the way until the end of your day. And I want you to record what you're doing at every single one of those 15-minute blocks. And here's what it's going to show you. First of all, it's going to show you where you waste your time. So if you're on Facebook, if you find yourself on Facebook at 3:30 in the afternoon every day for half an hour, when you really, that should be better used. Nothing wrong with using your Facebook, but if that's a time when you are actually better and more creative for your specific job, you need to find a way so that you don't get sucked into that. A guy named Eben Pagan has a thing called OCD loops. And I used to have an OCD loop where it was Facebook, ESPN.com, check my sales stats, check my email, and then right back to Facebook or ESPN.com. That's an OCD loop, and that means it's really hard to get out of, and every single day you tend to get into it. Now you need to recognize those things, and you need to find a way that will stop the OCD loop. And once you're in it, you need to find a way to get out of it. But that's one of the things that you're going to notice. The second thing that you're going to notice is that magic time. When are you most creative? When are you really in the flow of your work? And once you can recognize that, the next thing you need to do is ruthlessly protect and foster your magic time so that nobody's able to take it away from you. So if it's from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., you need to find a quiet corner here, or you need to be, I don't know how you guys operate with working at home or whatever, but you need to make sure that nobody is being what's called a time vampire and sucking your time and energy out of your magic time. So everybody's got it. Go through that little exercise and you'll find it, and then ruthlessly protect it and foster it, and you will be more productive, you'll get more done. And like I said, from that structure comes more freedom. Okay, so the next thing is no email before 10 a.m. Now, for you guys, you might get up at 10 a.m. and that's not going to be a big deal. But for me, I get up very early in the morning. So I get up at 4:30 in the morning every day. And for me, I work, and to get so much work done before 10 a.m. because email is the killer of your time. It is the absolute killer of your time, and I absolutely insist that you do at least 1 hour of quality work and you get one major thing done before you check a single email. And if you think that you have to check your email before, because someone's waiting on you or depending on you, then what you need to do is restructure the expectations of other people so that they do not expect and rely on you for an email response. So whether it's email or text, this stuff should not be touched until you accomplish one major thing, or at least one major action step towards one major project. So if it's something that you obviously can't get done in a day, if it's a project that you're working on that's going to take 2 weeks, at least make one major contribution to it. And for me, it's writing. So at least I would recommend at least 60 to 90 minutes of a major action step towards a major goal for you before you get caught up in email, text, or phone messages. It's really, really important. And again, I don't completely understand how your office system works, but if that means staying at home and working for an hour at home, do that hour at home before you come in and get distracted. It's absolutely essential. Okay, I don't take any phone calls unless they're scheduled because for me, I don't have great energy on the phone. It's not something that I enjoy. I waste hours being stressed out before doing phone calls. And so for me, this is something that has to go. And unless it's an absolutely important phone call, I don't take them. And so that's just a personal rule. You guys are going to have your personal rules about your best way to communicate. And everyone's going to have their different best way to communicate. But make sure, again, it's all about leveraging what you are best at. We've talked to some awesome people in here today, and we've always heard this, finding your genius. And that really is what the code allows you to do. It allows you to find it and leverage it and maximize what you are best at. Dan Sullivan, who's been a coach of mine, been a coach of Vision, he uses a phrase, unique ability. There is something that you do better than everybody else. And if you can do that something that you do better than everybody else at that time of day when you do that something better than you do at any other time of the day, that's when you multiply your efforts. And that's when you really see big breakthroughs and what you are able to accomplish. And if you are working in a team, what your team is going to be able to accomplish. And that's how you get to scale to be the 10 by 10, 1 billion. Okay, at the end of the day, every day, no matter what time of day it is, no matter what country I'm in, I do a to-do list for the next day. I do my daily readings. I've collected certain documents over the years that have been really impactful on me, and I go through a little bit of each one of those, and then I write in a gratitude journal. So those are the 3 things that I do at the end of the day, no matter what, no matter where I am, no matter how late it is. And then going back to my very first rule about getting up at the same time and going to bed, if I have to sacrifice one, it's obviously I'm going to stay up later, but I'm always going to get up at that hour first thing in the morning.
And that was the disciplined Craig Ballantyne sharing 5 of his personal rules for productivity. What could you do to help yourself become more organised and disciplined to get more done and enjoy your life more? If getting better organised is one of the things that you'd love to do, but just don't know how to even start, then you and me, let's have a chat. You can grab your free 30-minute LDL power call now. Right this second, head over to ldlcall.com, find the time slot for you, and let's see what the Learn, Develop, Live method can do for you and help you become better organised today. That is everything from me today. Have yourself an incredible day and rest of your week. I'll be back tomorrow with more, and I will see you in the next one.
The Learn, Develop, Live podcast. So much cheaper than a trip to the Bahamas. Learn, Develop, Live, Mom. Thanks for listening. You can find more motivational moments at learndeveloplive.com. And we'll be back to inspire you again tomorrow.